Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Tuesday TANAK and news briefing, the 28th of July, 2026. Okay. Our main topic will be what happened between the Old and the New Testament, the 400 years of silence. I'm gonna deal with that. Okay. I kind of brought it up before, but this information right here is gonna bring a lot of things to the light. Okay. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at, examine, get the meat out. These videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, it would be greatly appreciated. We have our Cash App at the bottom of the screen for those that want to support this channel and help it move along. That too would be greatly appreciated. Okay, we have our Tuesday night TANAK news briefing every Tuesday, starting at 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. We have our reading through the TANAK on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, it's from 7 to 9 p.m. And we have our Women's Advanced Bible Study on every Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. Okay, and then we have our Men's Advanced Bible Study on Fridays. That too is from 7 to 9. Then we have 2 Shabbat classes. One in the morning. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then we close the Shabbat out every Saturday evening at 6. Kind of do a recap for the week, and then we'll read some couple chapters, okay, and some Q&A, okay. Then we have our Sunday Advanced Bible Study. Every Sunday, it starts at 5 p.m. Central Time, okay. And what I'll start doing now is I have my Q&A on at the end of the class on Tuesday night, and we'll have Q&A at the end of the class on Wednesday nights. Then we have Q&A at the end of the 2 Shabbat classes, and we have Q&A at the end of our Sunday Advanced Bible Study. That way, it'll enhance the understanding, enhance the conversation, and it'll help people that's listening in. Okay. And what I'll be doing is sending out the link midway through the class, right after I finish my pick a scripture. Okay. So with that being said, I want to say shalom to everybody. Shalom, shalom. What's up, AJ? Okay. We're gonna do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms. Then we have a topic for discussion. And we have our Tuesday night. We go into our Tuesday TANAK and news briefing. Okay, like I said, the objective of that briefing is to combine TANAK, which is the Old Testament, with current events and with end time prophecies from the Lord of hosts. Okay, and then we go into we'll pick a scripture at the end. We'll pick that scripture, break it down, and then, like I said earlier, we go into our Q&A. We open it up for questions, comments, any dialogue. And those people that receive a link, they'll get the link. And anybody else that want to receive a link, you can call that number 337-802-0889, and then we can get you the link. That way you can come in and ask your questions. Okay, any dialogue you may have. Okay, this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongs unto Thee. Therefore, we come before Thee at this hour, seeking Thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before Thee as Thy servants David and Solomon and Samuel and Hezekiah did. Okay. For we desire to walk after Thee, O Lord, to keep Your commandments and Your testimony and Your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by Your prophets. O Lord, allow Thy face to shine upon Thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord, and hide not Thy face from us. or we need you so very much at this hour. Okay, a lot of things going on. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, I'll read the song right quick. Okay. Okay, I'll read Psalms 9. It's a praise for God's justice. Psalm of David. So I will praise thee, O Lord, with my whole heart, and I will show forth all thy marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in thee, and I will sing praises to thy name, O thou most high. When mine enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right and my cause, and thou saidst in the throne, judging right. Thou hast rebuked the heathen. Thou hast destroyed the wicked. Thou hast put out their name forever and ever. O thou enemy, destruction are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities. The memorial is perished with them, but the Lord shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment, and he shall judge the world in righteousness, and he shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, and a refuge in time of trouble. And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee. For thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. Sing praises to the Lord, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doings. Verse 11, I'm going to read that again. Sing praises to the Lord, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doings. When he maketh it inquisition for blood, he remembereth them. He forgetteth not the cry of the humble. Have mercy upon me, O Lord. Consider my trouble, which I suffer of them that hate me. Thou that liftest me up from the gates of death, that I may show forth all thy praise in the gates of thy daughters of Zion, and I rejoice in thy salvation. The heathens are sunken down in the pit that they made, in the net which they hid in their own foot, taken. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executes. The wicked is snared in the works of his own hands. Selah, the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectations of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Lord, and let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O God, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Selah. That was Psalm 9. Yeah, I saw one verse I wanted to shine light on. Let me see if I can backtrack it. Okay, it says, let me see if I can get it right quick. Yeah, 13, it says, David says, have mercy upon me, O Lord. Consider my trouble which I suffer of them that hate me. Thou hast lifted me up from the gates of death. So I was having this conversation with somebody who didn't know what the hell they was talking about, and I was trying to explain to them that the Lord of hosts came and delivered David, and they were saying, and I said, and when you understand that and read it, it kills the scenario that they gave you about JC. So let me get it right quick. It's Second Samuel right quick. I think it is. Yeah, Second Samuel. And most people don't even know that it exists. You know what I'm saying? So let me read it. And then when you read it to them, the nut buckets still got a problem with it. So David was given a vision of what was going to happen to him at the end, you know, before he passed away. So it says right here, David said, let me get it, 22. 2 Samuel 22. I'm gonna start at verse 2. Well, I'm gonna start at 1. It says, this is David's song of deliverance. This is when he delivered from death after he passed away. David spake unto the Lord the words of this song, right? In the day, see that? In the day that the Lord delivered him out of the hands of his enemies, out of the hands of Saul. And he said, the Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. The God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. This contrary to what Peter said, right? I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, and so shall I be saved from mine enemies. Now here you go. When the waves of death compass me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. These are the spirits of these giants that a lot of people don't seem to know nothing about because they follow the narrative that these Gentiles gave them about the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch explains this. It said, the sorrows of hell compassed me about, the snares of death prevented me. So when David passed away, and you understand where his spirit comes from heaven, he's a descendant of Adam. And Adam's descendant spirit rises, but the one that comes from these giants, these Nephilim, it don't rise. It go down in the pit. Most High built a pit for them to go to, right? So these spirits tried to hold David's spirit when he passed to rise. They tried to hold him in hell. So he cried. Notice where he cried to. It says, in my distress, I called upon the Lord. I cried to my God, and he did hear me out of his temple, the one in Zion, right? And my cry did enter in his ears, and the earth shook and trembled. The fountains of the heavens moved and shook because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, fire out of his mouth, devoured kindles were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, came down, and darkness was under his feet. Rolled upon the cherubim and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness a pavilion round about him, dark waters, thick clouds of the sky, and through the brightness before him coals were kindled. Now here you go. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice, and he sent out arrows, scattered them, lightning, and discomfited them. Channels of the sea appeared, and the fountains of the world were discovered at the rebuking of the Lord, as a blast of the breath of his nostrils. And he sent from above, this is David talking, he sent from above, he took me, drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemies and from them that hated me, for they were too strong for me. So that's what David's talking about over here in uh, Psalms 9, verse 13, when he says, have mercy upon me, O Lord. Consider my trouble, which I suffer of them that hate me. Thou that lifted me up from the gates of death. That's what we're talking about. Okay. You got any comments on that?
Shalom, brother Leonard. I'll just comment, sir, that it just because I didn't know, excuse me, that other people thought that the Psalms was about JC, and when you went to the chapter you just went to in Second Samuel, that makes some of the Psalms more clear about one what David is talking about and what you teach about the gates of hell, but
Right.
then just that it's about David
Right.
specifically.
Exactly.
So
So all the songs is about David's relationship with the Lord, and then they tricked it off with the Greek typology and Hellenistic stuff, and making you think that David prophesying about somebody to come. When David is the anointed one, David is the Messiah. He's talking about himself. And then another thing that people don't seem to know is that he made these psalms and gave them to Levites in the temple. These are songs they sung in the temple, on the high holy days. So it ain't had nothing to do with no JC. Okay. And that's something.
Right, yes, sir.
Okay. So with that being said, my topic for discussion. Yeah, I have been talking about this. Here and there. Like I said, if you've been hanging around, what I try to do is I try to go from the left to the right, north, south, east, and west, because that way, you'll be more, you'll be more apt and more in touch with what's going on, because it'll be things that you've heard, you talked about, knowledge has been delivered. You can't say that I never heard of that, because we all over the place. And not only that, wherever we go all the way in on it. Okay, one day at a time, one class at a time, one precept at a time. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't profess to know everything, but the Lord of hosts did a work with me. So that's all good. So with that being said, we're gonna go to my topic for discussion. Yeah, I had been talking about how um, it's a gap in between the Old and the New Testament, and that's where the trick came in. I talked about it a couple of days ago, how Most High closed up the Old Testament, which is at the end of Malachi, when he told Daniel, close the book up. So you say, what book? Well, let's look at it right quick. We ain't got nothing but time, okay? And we got nothing else to do. All hell getting ready to break loose, so we ain't nothing else to do. So let's look at this. So he says, uh, Daniel, okay? He told Daniel right here, he says, I'm in chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified. You got to understand, the end of the world in the book of Daniel is not the end of the world. It's the end of our world, the Israelites, the temple, and all that. Temple worship, Most High tied the Israelites. And so he brought the Israelite nation to an end. And so he telling Daniel right here, many shall perish and be made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. None of the wicked shall understand. None of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, you that? From the time the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waited and cometh to the 1,330 days. Then he tell Daniel right here, you can't sugarcoat it or fumble with it, but he says, but go thy way till the end be, the end of the world, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. So we say, what are you talking about? How we know this is the end of the days? He told him we're gonna stand in his lot. So what's his lot? They got lots when Joshua came into the land, when they defeated the Canaanites, when they came out of Egypt, and they fulfilled Genesis chapter 15, the iniquity of the Canaanites. So they came, the Amorites, and they came in and they got the land by lot, 12 lots, 12 sons. So Daniel out of one of these lots. So he told Daniel, you're gonna go to sleep, you're gonna rest, you're gonna be, gonna pass away, your soul gonna, the process, the soul gonna be taken up, like we just talked about with David. And then in the last days, in Ezekiel 37, he's gonna bring those spirits back to those original bodies. He's gonna reconstruct the bodies, bring them back, and they're gonna come back in their bodies, stand on their feet, like he just told Daniel right here. Say, but go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest, see that, sleep, pass away, and stand in thy lot in the end of the day. That's, like I said, that's Ezekiel 37, and that's Isaiah 66. Fumble with it if you want. So anyway, that's what he's telling him right here. And so we're gonna look at the book right here, right quick. He says, this Michael, like I said before, over and over again, you're gonna listen to. these Gentiles or some nut bucket don't know what they're talking about, or you're gonna listen to what these angels said. It's Most High created that's doing his bidding for him, that's been there from the beginning. So this Gabriel again talking to Daniel, started verse 19 and said, oh man, greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto thee. Be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened. And he said, let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then said he, knoweth what for have I come unto thee? And now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I have gone forth, lo, the prince of Greece shall come. So we see right here these fallen angels that's over these different nations that happened at the Tower of Babel. The Most High divided the earth up with these angels. Okay, and we know about the four beasts. Here go two of them right here. One is over Persia, that's one of the beasts, and another beast is another man is over Greece. That's one of the four beasts. And so we see these angels that's over these kingdoms, right? Not man. Then we go to verse 21. Gabriel talking to Daniel. But I will show thee. Damn what Peter and Paul and the church fathers said, right? He said, but I will show thee that which is noted in the scriptures of truth. There is none that holdeth with me in these things, but Michael, your prince. So Mike, he telling you right here, Michael is over Israel. This is who the Lord of hosts is. This is Israel Redeemer. This is who David talking to. Okay? So, and then he mentioned the book. What book? Well, it's from Genesis to Malachi. He told Daniel to close it up until the time of the end. So he closed it up in Malachi right here. Let's look at it. He says, we in Malachi. I'm going to read that. Like I said, we're at the end. Time real short. So he said, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch, right? But unto you that fear my name, these Israelites, shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves out of the stall. That's Enoch, in case you want to know. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord. Remember ye the laws of Moses, my servant, which I commanded him unto him in Horeb, in all Israel, with the statutes and the judgments. So, like I said before, if you want to keep on riding with JC and Golgotha and the Passion of the Christ, he just told you right here, remember the laws of Moses. Ain't nobody did shit with the laws of Moses. Ain't nobody pinned the laws of Moses on no cross. Okay? He says, remember the laws of Moses. There ain't no schoolmaster. He says, remember the laws of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him at Horeb and all Israel with the statutes and the judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah. See that? The prophet before the coming of the day of the Lord, that dreadful day of the Lord, and he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest he come and smite the earth with a curse. That's the last chapter of the Old Testament. And what he just told us on Elijah. When he do what he gonna do in Isaiah 66, when he resurrect the whole house of Israel in Ezekiel 37, Elijah gonna be there. That's the purpose of him taking Elijah before he died. He's gonna be the in between the knowledge that the knowledge we starving for now, that these Gentiles, the Edomites took away from us. Well, our forefathers are gonna be raised up. And we're gonna be able to talk to him right there. We're gonna get all that information. So so what they did was when the Most High closed his book up, he told Daniel he gonna open it back up in the last days. What they wanted it open, because Constantine wanted to try to he created a god JC from Serapis, and then he wanted to attach this god to the Tanakh. Because that's what they do. They synchronize. He wanted to create this new God for the newfound religion that he had just came into when he destroyed the other three emperors in the Roman Empire. So he went back and he attached he wanted to open it up. So he came back in Matthew. The first thing he did in Matthew was he made John the Baptist. Let's read it right quick. Yeah. Evidently, we have to Negroes ain't heard this. So he says, let me get it. The first thing they did was they connected everything to, they gave you the genealogy of JC, which is the genealogy of, they connected Serapis to the Old Testament, right? So let's get it. Let me get it right quick. So get chapter 3, Matthew. In those days came John the Baptist, preaching in the wilderness of Judea, and saying, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophecy. That now what they have to do in order to connect you to the Old Testament, they gotta connect you to the Old Testament. So here you go right here. For this is he that's spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make the path straight. And the same John and his remnant of camel hair and a leather girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey. Then went out to him to Jerusalem and all Judea and all the region about Jordan. So now what you got to understand is the Israelites on the west coast of Africa. These ain't no Israelites. But their objective is to connect this John the Baptist to Elijah. See what I'm saying? You got to open the book back up. And so this character that they created, they get him to tell you that John the Baptist is Elijah. He's the one crying in the wilderness. When we just saw what the Lord was said in Malachi, that John the Baptist is going to come back at the very end when he resurrect our forefathers out of the grave. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, it's 400 years in between what the trick they done with Malachi and Matthew. They're saying it's a 400-year gap in that, which it brings me to my video. They got some Christianity in there, but we're gonna maneuver around that. But the objective is to make light of the fact that, because so many people don't know this about the 400 years in between, that 400 years in between that. That's how by opening up the Old Testament, that's how they was able to make JC the character that he is. So here we go. Let me get it. They call it in between the scriptures. Is another phrase they use. And so, like I said, these things are things that you don't know. When you get into conversations, you're being flipped and dipped all around, not understanding what's really going on. Okay. Let me get it. Okay.
Feels illegal to know if you're a side sleeper. What up?
Here we go. Here we go.
Years of Silence. Part 1. The page that nobody turns.
Right.
What happened between the Old and New Testament? The 400 years of silence. Part 1. The page that nobody turns. Right. You are reading your Bible from the beginning. Genesis, Exodus, the long march of the...
So another thing I want to say before I get this started with this was when you're dealing with the Lord of hosts, right? Our Redeemer, and you come into certain knowledge, and then once you cross that knowledge, it's gonna take you to some more knowledge. So when he understands that he the one got you where you at. So when you get to that point, he the one that's gonna open it up. You can't go to B until you done dealt with A. So once he deal with you with A, then he gonna take you to B. And so we have been talking about this, how what's the situation where these kings came from that they mentioned in Jesus' lineage in Matthew. Okay, check this out.
Kings, the poetry of the Psalms, the fire of the prophets. And then you reach the final page of the Old Testament.
Come on.
The prophet Malachi has just spoken. God has issued his last recorded words to his people. And those words are striking, not words of comfort, not a warm farewell, a warning and a promise pressed together. Malachi chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. Behold, I am going to send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and terrible day of the Lord. He will restore the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, so that I will not come and smite the land with a curse. And then the page turns, and when it turns, something has changed so completely that it almost feels like a different world. Suddenly, there are Roman soldiers in the streets of Jerusalem. A king named Herod is sitting on Israel's throne, and he is not.
They didn't bypass the third beast, the corporate. In Malachi, we in Medes and Persians. Now all of a sudden we didn't bypass the third beast that Gabriel told Daniel about. Now we in full beast.
Not even fully Jewish. There are groups called Pharisees and Sadducees debating in the temple courts, groups that do not appear anywhere in the Old Testament.
Exactly.
There are synagogues on every corner, a council called the Sanhedrin passing judgment on religious matters, and the entire Hebrew Bible has been translated into Greek, a Greek Bible, used by Jews.
Now you gotta understand, that's wicked as hell. But this guy here gonna try to make it good, but that's wicked as hell when you transcribe the Most High's word. Okay.
None of this is explained. The Bible does not pause to catch you up. Matthew chapter 1 opens with a genealogy and assumes you are ready. But you are not ready, because nobody told you what happened in the gap.
Exactly.
Here is what happened. 400 years passed. 4 centuries of silence from God. No prophet, no scripture, no burning bush, no still small voice, no word from heaven. And inside that silence, 4 empires rose and fell over Israel. A war for the soul of Judaism was fought and won, and the world was quietly reshaped into the exact environment the gospel would need to explode across it.
Did you get that? 4 walls was fought. Okay.
The silence was not empty. It was preparation. Part 2, where the Old Testament ends. To understand where we are going, you need to understand where we are standing when Malachi finishes writing. The year is approximately 430 BC. Israel has been back in their land for about a century after the Babylonian exile. The temple has been rebuilt. Worship has been restored. But something is wrong. Malachi is writing to a people who are going through the motions. The priests are offering blemished sacrifices. Malachi chapter 1 verse 8. The people are withholding their tithes. Chapter 3 verse 10. Men are divorcing their wives without cause. Chapter 2 verse 16. And most damaging of all, the people have begun to say that serving God is pointless. Malachi chapter 3 verse 14. It is vain to serve God. What is the profit of our keeping his charge? These are not pagans speaking. These are God's covenant people, a century after returning from exile, already spiritually.
Yeah, I got a question. Has Daniel 9:26 already happened? The prince that shall come, has that already happened?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who are these people? You know what I'm saying? It's simple as that. Who the hell is these people? The Antioch Epiphanes ran the Israelites out way back in 143 BC. They're on the west coast of Africa. Who it is? Okay.
Exhausted and bitter. They are waiting for the Messiah their prophets promised.
Sound good.
The Messiah has not come, and they are beginning to wonder if he ever will. And then God goes silent for 400 years. The word Malachi itself is significant. In Hebrew, it means my messenger, or the Lord's messenger. The last prophet's very name is a description of his office. He is God's messenger. And when his message ends, the messenger falls silent, and Israel is left holding the words they have already been given, waiting for what comes next.
So Elijah, Malachi told us Elijah was coming. Now you see, so the 400 years blank, which he wasn't blank. That's how they played it. That's how they constructed it. Then when they come back, in Matthew, all of a sudden now John the Baptist on the scene. He's Elijah. And that's so far from the truth. It's a damn shame.
Part 3, the Persian period, the quiet years, 538 to 332 BC. When Malachi writes, Israel is living under Persian rule.
See that?
The Persian Empire stretches from Egypt to India.
And
the Persians, remarkably, are not hostile to Jewish religion. Cyrus the Great, the Persian king who allowed the exiles to return in 538 BC, had called himself the servant of the God of Israel in his famous decree recorded in Ezra chapter 1. Later Persian kings like Artaxerxes supported Ezra and Nehemiah in restoring Jerusalem. So the period under Persia is relatively calm. The Jews are allowed to govern themselves in religious matters. The high priest functions as the effective leader of the Jewish community. The temple is running. The law is being taught. But something important is happening underneath the surface, because the Jews who returned from Babylon came back changed. They had lived in a foreign empire for 70 years. Many of them no longer spoke Hebrew fluently. Aramaic, the common language of the ancient Near East, had become their everyday tongue. And this created a problem. If you cannot read Hebrew, how do you...
He's trying to make this good. This is abomination. Check it out.
Engage with the scriptures written in Hebrew? The answer was the synagogue. While the temple in Jerusalem was the place of sacrifice, the synagogue became the place of study. Local communities would gather to read scripture, pray, and have the text explained in the common language. The synagogue is not a biblical institution in the Old Testament sense. It developed during and after the exile as a practical response to displacement. And by the time Jesus begins his ministry, there are synagogues in every Jewish community across the known world. He will walk into them and teach in them repeatedly throughout the 4 Gospels. The Persian period planted that seed. Part 4, Alexander the Great and the Greek Flood, 332 to 167 BC. In 336 BC, a 20-year-old Macedonian king inherits his father's throne and his father's army. His name is Alexander.
So I was telling you about, Daniel had visions of this, but it ain't never come past. They took it out of the scriptures. Okay.
And within 13 years, he will conquer the entire known world from Greece to the borders of India, dying at the age of 33 in Babylon in 323 BC, without ever having lost a battle. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great sweeps through Palestine on his way to Egypt.
Check it out.
He does not destroy Jerusalem. He does not persecute the Jews. According to the Jewish historian Josephus, Alexander actually showed respect to the Jewish high priest and left the Jewish community largely undisturbed in their religion and customs. But what Alexander brought with him was far more transformative than conquest. He brought Greek culture, Greek language, Greek philosophy, Greek architecture.
Yeah, that's supposed to be good. That's abomination.
Greek education. This process is called Hellenization, from the Greek word for Greece, Hellas.
Invest in the energy infrastructure powering the AI boom.
Good, a little more. You know, I'll give you the name of this video. You want to watch it.
Not a military program. It was a cultural flood. Greek became the international language of trade, diplomacy, and education across the entire Mediterranean world. If you wanted to do business, Greek was the language. If you wanted to communicate across cultural boundaries, Greek was the language. By the time Jesus is crucified, Greek has been the lingua franca of the Mediterranean for over 300 years. And here is why that matters for the gospel. When Paul writes his letters to churches in Rome, Corinth, Ephesus, and Philippi, he does not write them in Hebrew or Aramaic. He writes them in Greek. When Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John write their accounts of Jesus' life, they write in...
So we ain't gonna fumble with that. So anyway, we see how they had to do all that they done in order to set you up for this. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. There's no way in hell they could just planted Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the New Testament. They had to set you up because they had to open the book back up that's been sealed. Okay, and what I was trying to wait on them to get to, but I don't want to hear all this bull crap, was the Septuagint. That's abomination. When they started dealing with the Most High Word and changing and flipping it around and wrote it in Greek, That wasn't. And then the crazy part about it is the people that translated. They wasn't no Hebrews. That's a double whammy. Okay. So, but the name of this video is what happened between the Old and the New Testament, the 400 years of silence. So, right. So a lot of people don't know nothing about that, but they got it. It's right there in the Old Testament, right there in the Bible, King James Bible. After Malachi, it says between the scriptures. And the same thing is with this 400 year silence. Same thing. This is where the hoodwink came in at. Okay. Got any comments on that?
Shalom, brother Leonard. Yes, sir. All of that makes sense because like that's where Daniel 9:25 come in, right? Where they
Yeah.
Switch out Zerubbabel and JC.
Right. And like I was telling you, that's what they trying to make up these 400 years. That's why you got they went back with the books like Ezra, because what Daniel prophesied, Daniel go before the book of Ezra, because Daniel he prophesied and told you that he's going commandment was going to come forth. The commandment came forth in the book of Ezra, so they trying to finagle these 400 years. See what I'm saying?
Right. So
And that's what I was talking about with the 70 the 7 times 70, the 490 years that Gabriel was talking about. They trying to finagle that trying to go forward with it, but when you understand the prophecy, you got to go backwards. Okay.
right.
So you good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So that, like I said, that video is what happened between the Old and the New Testament, the 400 years of silence. And it's the channel is Time Routes, ROUTES. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and go into our Tuesday TANAK and news briefing. And like I said, the reason why I concocted this or manufactured it was to to try to give the people on this channel and the people that's listening a simpler way to understand what's happening, because of these people that made it they hoodwinked the scripture so badly and made it complicated. So when you start eliminating all the riffraff out, then things start becoming more and more simplified and easy to understand. Okay. So that was the purpose of me taking one day out of the week to do this Tanakh and news briefing. Like I said, being where we at, Most High Holy Spirit out on this remnant, their eyes are open, and so I'm dealing with today's events, and then I'm dealing with what our Redeemer, our Savior, prophesied to us, and then not only that, we got the Tanakh. So that's a golden opportunity to bring a lot of these things together and take a person to a next level of understanding. Okay, so here we go. So this is our first, and yeah. By the way, like I said, the time ran out. Believe me, I got hit with a whammy this morning, but yeah. So time is all the way to ran out. We at the point where some major changes gonna happen. Okay, and you ain't ready for it. It's like standing at the door of the ark. You know, and he closed it. He put wax seal on it. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so my man over there in Burkina Faso, he done declared. We know, if you know anything about the history of Islam, when we were kicked out of the land, we ended up over on it. We ended up over on the west coast of Africa, and the Most High had already prophesied to us that we was going to discontinue from our heritage. Well, Islam was one of the things he used to discontinue us from our heritage. Like I said, these curses blessings, whatever they are, the Most High, they overtake us. We wherever we at, they overtake us. And the same thing's happening today. Okay, you can't say, oh, this ain't supposed to happen, or this ain't supposed to happen. No, that's how he work. He's gonna overtake you. Whether you can deal with it or not, it's on you. So they was on the west coast of Africa. He already told us, he told them they was gonna discontinue from their heritage. Well, Islam came. Religion of Islam came and swept across Africa, and the Israelites got caught up in it to this very day. But this good dude right here, Ibrahim Torrey, which I'm always talking about on the channel, he just banned. He just banned Sharia law, which is Islam. Check it out.
Captain Ibrahim Traore just dropped a bombshell announcement regarding the relationship between religion and state, the relationship between Islam, Burkina Faso, extremism, and nation building. This is what he had to say.
En train d'apprendre quelque chose. On a recensé les dernières statistiques que j'estime lycée. J'ai regardé la fiche. Personne n'est au courant de la sortie. Personne n'est au courant de cette réforme. Les ambassades qui sont là-bas ne sont pas au courant de. Et vous savez ce qu'ils apprennent d'appliquer la charia au lycée.
And many people did not like it. The response was swift, and from all corners of the internet, members of the Islamic faith attacked the captain. They were furious. So what does it take for a leader to look his own people in the eye, then look at the religious extremism around them and say, enough? What does it take to stand before hundreds of your own citizens, students studying Islam in foreign lands, and tell them, come home, or you are no longer one of us? What does it take to tell the world, my country comes before my faith? And if you don't understand that, you don't understand survival. Ibrahim Traore has decided that the war against terror isn't just fought with guns. Exactly. It's fought in mosques, in classrooms, in the minds of young men sent abroad to study Islam, and returning with something far more dangerous. July 16, 2026.
Okay, what do you think about that? You heard anything about that?
Shalom. No, not really, no sir.
Okay, yeah. So he didn't declare that he declared Sharia law banned. He didn't ban it. Is that something?
Okay. And but Brother Leonard, I did see that. You know how they were saying they was bombing the Christians in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. I seen that a lot of I seen the video today I was listening to that said a lot of them was actually Muslim communities.
Right, yeah. What that's what I was just talking about. I'll build off into that right quick. What happened this morning? Okay, we've been kind of talking about it, and I'm quite sure people on the line been looking at it. That they always talking about. I hear Mark Gill talk about it a lot, but he says that people is they keep on showing us with the propaganda machine is wide open because of what they're getting ready to do. And like I say, it's so close. So they keep saying that they said it with Trump, they said it with Obama, that Obama was at odds with Israel. He had a problem with Israel, so that means that he, the president, America had a problem with Israel. And now they really blowing it out of proportion with Trump. They're saying Trump is going against Israel, back and forth, and then they're showing all this these different countries like Iran and other people that attacked Israel, and they on their last leg. But the country ain't but so big. I mean, how many times they got to bomb it before they wipe it out? And then just like with Ukraine, damn, how long it's gonna be? How many weapons and bombs that Russia got to blow up on Ukraine before it's through? And you keep showing us all these videos, all this destruction, but he's still there. So my point is this nut bucket, after all that he showed us about what Ukraine, the devastation that Russia done with Ukraine just this weekend, I mean, just yesterday, he didn't turn around and shot missiles at Iran. He up in America now, shooting missiles at Iran. with all the drama that Russia putting on their ass. Now he got room, we got time to shoot missiles at Iran. So my point is this: it's a big ass propaganda machine, and the Lord host hit me with a shine a light on it. I was like, cause I've been dealing with it, and I come to find out if you go back to our records, go back to our history, remember how the Syrian army came to Jerusalem. We just read that a couple of weeks ago, right?
Right, yes, sir.
And they threatened Hezekiah and all that, threatened the Israelites on the wall, and told them that in the morning they had 180-some-thousand soldiers. In the morning we're gonna knock you off. And the Philistines did that. We saw what happened with Abraham and Sarah. The dude came and took Sarah, and you know he's gonna keep her. And then the angel of the Lord stepped in. What they said in the stage, what they getting ready to do, they finna do some serious shit over in America, false flag, and make it look like it's Yahweh doing it because America going against Israel. That's to bring in the temple. That's what all this shit about. They making it look like the whole world is coming against Israel, and then all of a sudden Yahweh gonna act, but it's gonna be them gonna act. And like I said, it's on the money. They already showed you on the money what they're gonna do with the East Coast. It's right there in your face, and it's right around the corner. Like I said, it's got to happen before November, because they're gonna be through. They just got routed a couple of days ago with four election with 4 different people. The Republicans got routed, so they're not gonna make it past November. So they setting all this up before November, and your signs are they got the no-high law they got for November, and then I don't know if we talked about it or I gave you the conclusion on it, but they finally in the middle of the night they passed that bill with the military, U.S. military and the Israeli military to merge together.
Come on.
It's all the stage already said. That's what they making it look like the world going against them, and then y'all gonna judge them. And when he judge them, then what happened? Then the temple come. Then come the Pax Judaica. People gonna be glad. You know, they're gonna be glad for Israel, because they're gonna see that Yahweh came in. They got to be the real people. He didn't judge the whore. He didn't judge Babylon. When that narrative has been set by them, America ain't the hoe. They the hoe. And they didn't set this big ass narrative. I kept looking at that and looking at it and looking at it. And then this morning, man, he hit broadside. I said, come on. And like I say, anybody can't jump up and with limited information and see that. Okay? If you fumbling with JC, you can't see that. Okay? A Hebrew Christian. Okay, so yeah, hit me broadside, man. I was gonna sit on it, but when you said that, what you just said, I had to come on with it. You got any comments on that?
What? Sure. Well, even now, right there, that make a lot of sense too. And but in more so, Sean alert me again, making me more aware of what time it is.
Oh yeah, it ain't time for nothing else. It's hammer time, man. It's hammer time. Let me show you that in a couple of these videos. Yeah, and like I was saying, I was telling my man about it, how that you know, you keep getting cyborg and thinking that Yahweh ain't gonna do this and Yahweh ain't gonna do that, when he done told us over and over again that you ain't gonna leave you in the dark. He ain't gonna leave you in the dark. And so how many times you gotta do that? How many times you gotta come back and tip you off, and then you get in a quagmire thinking that you know he you know what he gonna do this and that. He gonna do what he's been doing. You know, his people he dealing with, he gonna tip them off. Okay, so yeah, so right here, we're gonna go to the next video. Chat, play this right quick. Yeah, I just played the one where he banned Sharia law and play this one. Check it out. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, like I said, time already ran out.
The Pentagon is actually rationing some defense weaponry amid diminishing supplies. Is America backing away from a larger military attack because its military stockpile has been depleted?
I want to be
so let's look at this. Now, if you got your head screwed on, Trey, these Iranians and all them to trick them off, and then they've been giving their weapons away to Ukraine and all that, so they stockpile diminished. And then these Israelis then just flipped the script with the U.S. government being turned over, then mixed with them. Look at the hand right on the wall. Come on, man. Shit. And like I said, what's coming in November? Look at this.
Crystal clear. The U.S. military, and I've verified this every which way, has everything that it needs.
But the Edomites know.
Needs to conduct this campaign as effectively as it needs to be. And I have to just tell you, the people that are leaking this nonsense deserve to be in jail.
Well, that was the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz, and he's a liar, a massive liar.
Yeah.
And that's putting it lightly.
Exactly.
Because through his lies, he's putting our troops in danger. In fact, President Trump has now opted to take a pause in bombing Iran after 13 nights of pummeling the country. And it's not because Trump necessarily wants to end the war. It's because he had to.
Right.
So let me make the case, as some in the audience want to justify Ukraine entering a war against Iran, which still has 70% of its ballistic missiles intact. Ballistic missiles, which Ukraine doesn't have the capacity to shoot down. Anyway, top advisors and senior members of the administration met with Trump last week on Friday to basically discuss the fact that we're in a lot of trouble. The United States military is in a lot of trouble in this war against Iran because the Pentagon has depleted.
And they know that. That's why they just did what they did with the military merger. We looking at Pax Judaica all day long.
Its stock of Patriot interceptors and other air defenses. So this has been a problem since the beginning of the war against Iran. This is not new information. It's just shocking to me that 5 months after Trump started this war, we finally have members of his administration bringing up the fact that we have depleted our missile interceptors. The New York Times reported that 3 US soldiers in Jordan were killed last Friday when a ballistic missile slipped through American air defenses, fending off a barrage of Iranian missiles and drones, a senior US official said. In fact, the Iran war casualty count has increased to over 600 US service members. So the Pentagon updated its war casualty database just this past weekend on Saturday, recording more than 140 service members who had been wounded in addition to the numbers we previously had. So the number we previously had was 482. When the new Pentagon data is combined with updated totals for Operation Epic Fury, 18 troops have died and another 624 have been wounded since the US launched its war against Iran on February 28th. How many IDF soldiers were killed in this war against Iran, which started on February 28th? Since, you know, this is a war Israel wanted, and this is a war the US has entered on Israel's behalf. Let me look at my notes. Zero. None. Zero. Okay. So as a result of how badly the US is losing this war, General Dan Kane, who is the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, warned Trump privately that resuming major combat operations against Iran was doable, but that it would dangerously deplete interceptors available to the Military Central Command, which is responsible for operations in the Middle East. So how many interceptors do we have left? That's the real question. Okay. Apparently the administration is putting out claims that we have about 1,000 interceptors left. But there are some CIA analysts who are saying the number's closer to 400. Larry Johnson is one of those former CIA analysts who put that data out. And he says that it's publicly available data. So I don't know why the government lies to us when we can actually see what's really going on here.
Because of time, that's right.
So obviously,
ain't no time left.
Continuing the war when we don't have the means to defend US service members in the region would be a dumb move. One senior US official who also spoke on the condition of anonymity expressed doubts that resuming major combat operations would drive Iran back to the bargaining table. The official said the strikes have the opposite effect of what is intended, keeping Iran cohesive and allowing Iranian leaders to focus attention on an external threat, Iran.
I started working with him in about 12 years.
Okay, here we go.
Trump must track down and fire the leaders in his administration, the leakers, I should say, the leakers in his administration who continue to undermine his pursuit of America's interests. He's such a weaselly little liar because obviously this war against Iran has nothing to do with US interests. It has depleted our weaponry. It has cost us already over $100 billion.
Israel.
Do you know your brain rot index? No, of course you don't. I didn't either because I didn't know what it was. And you unlock all that when you join.
Okay.
And while Shapiro excoriates, the few media outlets that report the truth and wants to go after the leakers because they're the real problem, right? Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the internationally wanted war criminal, plans to put in work on Trump during his now, 8th visit to the United States to visit him? Let's take a look at that.
I think when this regime is either toppled or it's sufficiently weakened that it knows it has to end its nuclear program and has to change its course. That's really what President Trump is trying to achieve. And I back his fully his efforts to do so. If he can do so without returning to intense military fighting, that's fine. Why not? But one way or the other, they have to end their nuclear program.
And you're getting set to travel to the U.S. to meet with President Trump and then attend the funeral services of Senator Lindsey Graham. Prime Minister, what can you tell us about any fresh new intelligence that you may have about that nuclear program that you are about to present President Trump with?
Our intel services and yours are working so close together that it's not that I'm going to present new information, but I think it's a good thing to have the opportunity to sit with our good friend President Trump and to hear what he has in mind, because I think in many ways it's his decision.
I think in many ways.
Well, it's a joke, man. Now watch this right here. This crazy right here. It's got to do with everything else that happened. Now this the International Criminal Court, the ones that the people that came out, they already talking about picking this dude Netanyahu up and Trump. But check it out.
This is the beginning of the end of the rule of law system. This is extremely scary. There has been a huge.
I say they coming with no high laws in November. Now they finna, like the lady just telling you, they finna do away with the ICC, the rule of law. Okay, why?
Pressure from Israel to remove Karim Khan. This is just the beginning of the dismantlement of the International Criminal Court. There were over a dozen US Congress people who wrote a threatening letter in the most mafia-sounding style and tone. There would be consequences, they said. Karim Khan, we will come after your team and your family. This is the language that is used by mafia people. I mean, the US is behaving like the emissary of Israel. The message to the ICC was, don't touch Israel, don't touch the US, don't touch us. I'm cut off from the financial system. I cannot receive payments. I cannot make payments. I cannot have my earnings. Any US person who has any transactional dealing with me faces up to 20 years in jail and a fine of $1 million. By the way, I'm the mother of a US citizen, so the situation for us, it's very personal. I was sanctioned by the United States, not because I was documenting genocide, no, because I recommended the court to open investigations.
No more buying expensive blood glucose test strips. No more.
Okay.
Karim Khan, the British chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, has been removed from his post following allegations of sexual misconduct by 2 women. The court's 125-member Assembly of State Parties voted overwhelmingly to remove him, despite the fact that an earlier internal investigation concluded the evidentiary threshold had not been reached. In 2024, under Khan's leadership, the ICC issued arrest warrants against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Netanyahu welcomed the decision to remove Khan, saying, "I spoke with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio last night, and he
an Invasion Act, an Hague Invasion Act that was passed by the U.S. administration."
So how can you even do that? I mean, but you know, if you can put a nut bucket in the White House with 32 felonies, then you can do anything. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. The International Criminal Court is a problem. They dismantling it. Okay. You got any comments on that?
I agree with that, brother. You can have a president with felonies. You can definitely do anything.
Exactly. You gotta watch this. This is what I was talking about, how they setting the stage to make it look like y'all finna come and judge everybody that's going against the Jews. Here go another one. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out what that was all about till this morning. Check it out.
We have a truly disturbing anti-Semitic report to share with you from Italy. Well, Stephen Briggs of Israel Matters joins us now. My friend, I didn't want to give
the CBN
too much background because I want to hear it right from you. What exactly is going on here?
Well, anti-Semitism is no longer hiding in the shadows across Europe. It's moving into public spaces, tourist areas, social media, government debates, and in some cases, direct physical violence. And Italy is a case in point. Jewish leaders are sounding the alarm after online forums reportedly urged people to identify and report the
let me make it a little more plainer. Remember, they was in Egypt, and they said Moses came to the backside of the desert, came to the mountain, and Yahweh told him. I heard they cried, right?
Right.
They hemmed up. I heard they cried. He showed up. This is what they're doing. They like I say, they've been copying our scripture forever. And this right here, this is the setup for what they're getting ready to do to come in to bring in this well, I can't think of the name of it. I've been saying it, I don't know. But they bring in Pax Judaica. Check it out. Watch this, man.
Presence of Israeli citizens and Italian Jews staying in hotels and other tourist accommodations. There's actually a Google forum that you could submit the information of where they were. And according to the Jerusalem Post, the president of Milan's Jewish community said he feared Italy was going back to the 1930s to what he described as hunting Jews. The forms were later removed after intervention by Italy's national coordinator for the fight against anti-Semitism. But that phrase, hunting Jews, should stop us in our tracks. The Bible in Jeremiah 16:16 says, behold, I'm going to...
So this why they buying up the media outlets and buying up TikTok to push this shit, okay?
Send for many fishermen, declares the Lord, and they will fish for them. And afterward I will send for many hunters, and they will hunt them from every mountain and every hill and from the clefts of the rocks. That's Jeremiah 16:16. This was not merely criticism of a government policy. It was an effort to map where Jews and Israelis were staying, where they were traveling, and what...
Watch this. This the other side of it. Why they got this shit going on. Watch this. Crazy, man. Here we go.
Just settlers in Israel. They're moving and colonizing the world.
Parts of their town are being Jews everywhere. Colonizing the whole world.
Local limits in Thailand.
They're telling you one thing over here, but they're doing something else over there.
And Southeast Asia.
So they're backpacking, disappearing to the world.
The quiet European mountain towns, you'll find Israelis. We've mostly seen them take two forms. The war criminals fresh from service.
And then they go to detox in India.
and the liberals fleeing what they claim is a failing democracy. On the surface, they couldn't seem more different. But watch how they move through the world, and you can see how Zionism produces a particular relationship to land and other people. One that is exploitative and violent, and that is not limited to Palestine. Between the two, one shows us how settlers act, and the other, how they think. For decades, tens of thousands of young Israelis have been going to South and Southeast Asia every year. It's a rite of passage for recently discharged soldiers known as the Big Trip. See, when Jewish Israelis graduate from high school at 18 years old, most of them are required to serve in the occupation forces. And after spending 2 or 3 years, many Israelis take months off afterwards to backpack, party, do drugs, and find themselves. India is one of the most popular destinations.
That's a joke, man. So you want to watch this because it do you some good to watch it. How Israelis are colonizing the world. Like I said, they let you listen to the news. They got you thinking all hell breaking loose on every corner, but this is how they live. Okay. Comments.
And Brother Leonard, that's is that what he say? They will have to. They gonna live in the fat places, but
yeah,
they doing it
with
by
the
the genocide.
Okay, right. By the sword. We're gonna live in the fat places of the earth, but by the sword.
Right.
Into something.
Sure.
Oh yeah. We're looking right at it. But like I said, man, it's too many things when it came together, too many pieces of the puzzle. It ain't no room for nothing else. This shit finna go down, man. Okay. Like I said, you can take it how you want to take it. But so with that being said, we're gonna, like I was saying, we're gonna start dealing with our we're gonna questions and comments Q&A at the end of the classes. Only just the women's line and the men's line. We're gonna not do the Q&A or the open Q&A, but on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, on Shabbat, and on Sunday we'll open up the link at the end of the class for anybody with any questions, comments about anything they heard or they came across or think they want to get some kind of better understanding or testimony. Okay, so we're gonna open up the line now, the links, and while we are dealing with this, while we pick a scripture and read that scripture and break it down, then we'll go into our Q&A.
Shalom, yes sir, Brother Leonard. I'm gonna read Isaiah 24, verses 21 through 23. And the Lord of hosts shall reign, and it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth that are upon the earth, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners, and gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days they shall be visited, and the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem before his ancients gloriously. And Shalom, that was Isaiah chapter 24, verses 21 through 23.
Okay. What's your take on that?
Well, Brother Leonard, when you were reading in 2 Samuel earlier, sir, in verse 22 right here in Isaiah, it's talking about the pit again. Right. Yes, sir. So that's why I got a question about this whole precept here, because the height where it says where is that at? It shall come to pass where the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones,
right,
and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So, right. Yes, sir. Who are those? Who is?
The host is of 200. Remember, they bound them until the 70 generations.
Right. Okay.
Until the time to the day of judgment. And then and the Nephilim, the kings of the earth, came from them, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's the day of judgment.
Right.
And then the pit is Guyana. That's where he had when he sent Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and them down there, they put them in the pit. He created hell for them. And then like the scriptures say, it's enlarged now because of wicked ass people that have crossed over. Enlarged itself. It wasn't meant for Adam's descendants, but because of the circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Okay.
Sure.
So with that being said, we're gonna open it up for anybody with any Q&A, any questions, any comments. Somebody got anything? Okay.
Shalom, everyone. Shalom, Brother Leonard. Yes, I have one question. Like the last thing you put on for us, Netanyahu. I'm sorry, I pronounced his name incorrectly, but he's coming back to the U.S. Wasn't he the one who started all of this?
Oh yeah, exactly.
And he acts as if he's like he don't know what's going on. He's coming back.
Right.
That was crazy.
Right. Then they want you to believe that the United States in charge. Why does he keep coming here if the U.S. in charge?
Yes, and then he made a statement a couple of months ago, first part of the year, about threatening the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Right. That's this is where we at. And the people so been so bamboozled. And now all of a sudden all these senators coming up missing. Okay, come on. Now they talking about dismantling the criminal court. Come on, man. We at the end. In case you ain't know.
Yes, sir.
Right. Oh yeah. Ain't nothing but a matter of any day. Because it's too many signs. You know? Oh yeah. You got anything else, AJ? You got anything else?
Oh my, dang! I'm sorry. I thought I was unmuted. Yes, sir. I got a question about the 3 days in Hosea, Brother Leonard.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I gotta get the verse, but those 3 days, that's supposed to be 3,000 years, right? Or
right.
2,000 years. In the hold on, is that Hosea 6?
A day with the Lord is 1,000 years.
Okay, right. So my question is, Brother Leonard, we're coming up on that time where that's ending, right?
Yeah, we own that time. So can you read it?
This is
that's Hosea chapter 3, ain't it? Or 6. Chapter 6.
Hosea 6. Okay, yes, sir. So it says, come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. In the third day, he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord. His going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come on to us as the rain, as the latter and the former rain onto the earth.
Right. So 2,000 years, we don't know him. He didn't turn his face from us. So that killed JC.
Right.
So another thing, how long ago? Like I said, they put it in our face over and over again. But the Lord of hosts, he said, he got a remnant. He raising up and he dealing with to bring about what he prophesied. So everywhere you go, 2,000 years ago, JC, 2,000 years ago, everything is 2,000 years ago, right?
Right. Sure.
How long ago was that? 2 days.
Okay.
So he said 2 days. He cast us out. And also, can you read that again?
Yes, sir. It says, "Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. And
So
the
where that
third
take you? So he smitten, he torn. Where that take you to? Isaiah 53.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
So for 2 days, 2 days up, we in the third day. He reviving us. We already see all that. He reviving us. We at the end right here. Ain't that something?
Right. So again, Brother Leonard, when like all these clips that you show, in your classes and the news briefings and all of that, you're not showing that to be a fearmonger, right? That's like,
oh no. It's like what the Most High did when he told them about the you can sit there and play chess or marbles and shit, but he said it's a flood coming. They could have went another route, but he got to tell them exactly what's up, and then they got to make a decision and deal with it accordingly. And then if they don't make the right decision, it's repercussions to it. You can't say you ain't looking at it, especially when he's showing it to you. You open your eyes up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I said over and over again, about Michael. How the hell I get that?
Right.
Come on, man. Israel left in 143 BC. Come on, man. Shit.
Right.
So yeah, and like I said today, it never fails. That's why I said I was telling my man. I said I gotta repent, man, because he didn't show me everything else. He hit me like a ton of bricks this morning. I kept saying, why is they keep doing that? Why they keep on making it look like that they in a bind, they finna get, they about to get annihilated. They setting it up. And now they gonna make it look like it's Yahweh came back. That's gonna be the cue right there to build the temple. Everybody gonna be flocking over there. They're gonna make it. They're gonna really think they're the Jews after it happened, after they judge this place. They're gonna really think that Yahweh, they the real people. Let's bring on in, package you there. Okay.
Right. People
it ain't gonna be long. It ain't gonna be long lived, but that's what they plotting up. Oh yeah, they're gonna do something very ugly over here in America. They're gonna get a lot of Negroes' mind right. Okay. Ain't that something?
Yes, sir. And Brother Leonard, I was going to ask you too. I remember there's a few classes. Well, it was a while ago, but when he's talking about I think it's the MK, maybe not MK Ultra. No, I think it is MK Ultra, and just a part of the cloud seeding and all of that.
Oh yeah, right.
Yes, sir, that they was talking about going to kind of play a part in all of those end time effects to what you just said about making.
We see all the flooding.
Right. Okay.
All the flooding that we see, that's all that's harps and all this cloud seeding. It's in full effect. And everybody looking around saying, "What's this?" Matter of fact, they got a people ain't paying no attention to it, but they got a big ass Cat 5 hurricane coming out of the Pacific toward California as we speak.
Oh wow!
Right? Did you know that?
Matter of fact, we might have talked about that briefly, But that's crazy.
I said we was gonna watch it, but yeah,
Okay.
I didn't play it. Let me get it. And I was listening to a dude today. I just said I was gonna check it out. He making sense, but he said that how the Illuminati and all them people tied together. He's saying that LeBron James ain't made his sacrifice yet. You know about all that, right?
Right, exactly.
They waiting to make a sacrifice. So why would he all of a sudden leave California and go to and go all the way to the East Coast and playing for Philadelphia?
Right.
Right. But he leaving his family in California. And then here comes this thing. Check it out.
Booming with activity outside of Hurricane Fausto. We are also watching Hurricane Genevieve that has rapidly intensified to a Cat 5 hurricane that is hot off the presses this morning. So we'll have to watch very closely, of course, with these storms continuing to pop up. The heat that is locked up in the East Pack. This is not the last song that the East Pack will be singing, that's for sure. This is going to be a blockbuster season. I do want to point out, Fausto, we gave you a full dive.
So what she's saying is now they gotta not just how shit get hot in the Atlantic, right?
Right.
Now she's saying this year is gonna be hot in the Pacific also. Say this is just the first one right here.
Okay.
Come on, is there something?
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever heard of a hurricane hitting over there. Right? That don't happen.
Right. They always have. I think they said 1925 was the last time. But it's never like no category 5s. So if they say category 5, it's way stronger than that. These hurricanes is coming nowadays. Because they engineered. You know, telling what they got in it. So yeah, so that's what's coming to California as we speak. But go ahead.
Shalom. What about the fire? It was promised the rainbow. So is that fire next time? Is that something that the typology into the wordings about next time that the world will not be flooded, it will be burned? Fire will come next time.
Oh yeah, that's part of. We just read that in Malachi chapter 4. But when you understand who the judge of the whole earth is, it's the Lord of hosts. He deal with his creation. He deal with the elements. And that's what we're looking at. He got other people. For example, like I said, and he deals with nations, the wicked nations. When he judged Israel, he used the other nations to judge them. And so, based on AI and technology now, that's what the other nations got. They're using that technology he causing them to use that technology to bring about his prophecies. And that's what they're doing.
Okay. So when Brother AJ was reading about coming back about the third day, is that that's going to be the time that the bones will come back?
Exactly.
Okay. So in the time of that part and then the fire, which comes first, the bones, the fire? How is that going to be? Or do we have any? Or the fire is not actual fire burning like California has all those fires all the time.
It's a different fire.
It's different fire.
A different fire. The fire that's coming that he talking about in the last days is the fire that when Michael lit on the bush and it consumed the bush, but the bush didn't burn. The same fire that came in the fiery furnace with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. This fire from heaven. Like the guy said, the fire. It seemed like it was like the fire had a life source in itself. When they put Abraham in the furnace, and then he said the fire came in there. Abraham didn't burn, but the fire reached out and was grabbing people outside and burning them up. So that's the same fire that was on the bush. That's Michael. So you want to get an example of that? We got a couple of places you can go. Can you go to AJ? Can you go to what's that? Joel chapter 2.
Joel chapter 2.
Start at verse 1.
Shalom. Yes, sir. And it says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not ever been the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years.
That's what you reading right there is Ezekiel 37, when he says it's the whole house of Israel. You know, resurrected. Keep going.
Yes, sir. And neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. You want me to keep going, Brother Leonard?
No, yeah, that's it right there. But so then you go to I lost my train of thought. Oh, Zechariah. I think it's 10, 12. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah, 12.
Mm-hmm.
When he said that the house of David gonna be like a flame of fire.
Yes, sir. So this Zechariah 12 in verse starting at 7, and it says, "And the Lord shall save the tents of Judah first."
Go up to about 4.
Oh, right.
Oh, the house of David gonna be like fire.
You're right. Okay, yes, sir. It says, "In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse." This is verse 4, with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and I will smite every horse, the people with blindness, and the governors of Judah shall say.
That's the kings. All the ones in 1st and 2nd Chronicles, 1st and 2nd Kings, they dead right now. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And the king shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and the Lord of hosts their God. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, like a torch of fire in a sheath, and they shall devour all the people round about on the right hand and on the left, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. And the Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem.
So there it is right there. So he's gonna we gonna get transfigured. We're gonna be like David was back in the day. The people that's alive on the earth, then the ones he resurrect, they gonna be like Michael. That's the promise he gave them. Way before the Council of Nicaea and JC. That's what's getting ready to transpire. And we see why, because of this wickedness they got playing right here. What they're getting ready to do. So he's already promised and already told our fathers he's gonna resurrect them. We ain't need wasn't no son hid in the bush. He's already told them they was gonna raise David. David said that he's gonna sleep and he's gonna wake up with Michael's image, Michael likeness. You remember that?
Yes, sir. Psalm
Okay.
17.
Can you read it?
Right, yes, sir. And it says, and as for me, this Psalm 17, verse 15, sir, and it says, and as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness.
Exactly. All them precepts line right up. None of it ain't got shit to do with New Testament. Okay.
Right.
Anybody got anything else?
No, sir. Oh, well, Michelle might. Sister Cheryl might.
No, I was just like, thank you for, enlightening me on that and bringing me to those scriptures. Thank you.
Okay. So you good, AJ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with that being said, I want to say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. Like I said, we'll be doing this Q&A thing at the end of the classes, only just with an exception to the men's Bible study and the women's Bible study. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it because it's a must that you understand who the God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel. And it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is and the Godhead.